morning, everybody, and a happy Saturday morning to you. I hope your week has gone as well as ours. For those of you wondering when I'm going to be showing vacation pictures, I'll be uploading those after we get home. In the meantime, there's a lot of news, so let's just jump in and get there, shall we? Let's go. We are starting off with some fabulous news because the birth of a baby is always great news. The Princess of Wales, Catherine, her brother, James Middleton, welcomed his first child with his wife, Alizée, I believe is how you say it. Now, he is considered to be an entrepreneur. He's 36. His wife is a French financier. She's 33. So they were in Notting Hill on Tuesday, and they had the baby in the stroller. They have not revealed if it's a boy or a girl, but of course this baby is the first cousin of Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, and the niece or nephew of Catherine and William. We don't know the details of the birth. We don't know the date of the birth. He or she was born recently, as James apparently put up a snap of his then pregnant wife on September 12th to celebrate their anniversary. So the baby had to have been born recently since then. The two of them live near where Catherine and Pippa and James grew up in Bucklebury, Berkshire. Now, we know that the pregnancy was announced on Instagram in July because he shared a picture of his wife in a green dress with their dog in the countryside. And of course, we saw them at Wimbledon. She was pregnant then too. You know, how they met is really cute too. James used to have a spaniel who has since died named Ella. And Ella apparently made a beeline for Alizée. And so he went to go get the dog. And that was how they caught attention. That's how they met. I think that's very sweet. Now, just as an FYI, James did battle depression, and he credits his dog Ella to help him through the depression battle. Very interesting. All right, moving on, and congratulations on the new baby, whoever he or she is. Moving on to King Charles. Remember I told you that there was a power list and, the top people? Well, apparently those named in the power list 2023 were invited to a special reception at Buckingham Palace. King Charles had British, African, and Caribbean community leaders at the reception. Now, this power list celebrates achievements of 100 influential people of British, African, and Caribbean heritage in the UK. And coming up soon, we're going to have the Power List Black Excellent Awards, where individual tickets cost £730 each. Wow. Looks like a good time was had by all. Moving on, King Charles also on the same day met with the, now he is president of the British Red Cross, in case you didn't know. He also held an audience at Buckingham Palace for representatives of different charities that are operating in the Middle East, including Gaza, to discuss the acute humanitarian crisis and what can be done to help. So there were representatives from the British Red Cross, Medical Aid for Palestinians, UNICEF UK, and Christian Aid. Moving on. Still sticking with King Charles, when he was done with all of those meetings, he went and opened a new hospice. It's called Priscilla Bacon Lodge. Excuse me. It's on the outskirts of Norwich, and it got its first patient last month. Now, it was raining when he got there, but he was met by the Lord Lieutenant of Norfolk, and then he was introduced to the patron of the hospital charity, Lady Bacon, and some other people. And of course, while he was there, he went ahead and toured the different areas. He sat in on a breathlessness workshop that they had with some outpatient people. Of course, he toured and he met patients and staff. Now, here's interesting. He met one of the fundraisers named Malcolm Metcalf, who set out to complete 90 challenges for the hospice, his 90th birthday, and so far he has completed 100. They include riding a horse, painting a friend's shed, taking part in a litter pick, walking on a pier. And so the king looked at him and said, "Are you going to stop now?" And the guy was like, "Nope." Now, people of all ages are there. There was a patient in this hospice who's 31 years old, and her 4-year-old daughter had been making crowns beside her mother's bed. I can't even imagine. This young lady that's there is there, according to the article, because she has stage 3 melanoma, and she said, "Man, I love it here. They treat me like a princess and give me Baileys at 11 a.m. every day." The king met the therapy dog, and he toured the gardens. He met the volunteers who take care of the gardens, and then of course he signed the register. Now, he had originally signed the register in March of 1998 when he visited the new hospice's predecessor. Interesting. Now, according to the article, this new site has state-of-the-art palliative care. There are inpatient beds. There's a day unit. There's a well-being center. And it will also be, according to the article, a hub for community-based services that enable people to receive care in their own homes, which I think is very nice. All right, moving on. Yeah, another PR fail and another humiliation for Meghan Markle. We know that she went to the Beyonce concert without Harry, and she took a picture beside Kelly Rowland, who is a former singer for Destiny's Child. And she said in her article, "It was my first time meeting her, and she was warm and down to earth." Yeah. The problem was they had met 9 years earlier, because Meghan posted a picture with her and a stylist in 2014 when they met at New York Fashion Week. And Meghan apparently said in her old Instagram account, which was deactivated, that how wonderful it was that, to meet her. Let's just call it what it is. This was a PR exercise. It went sideways. And her comments about royalty, if you read the whole article, she said, "We're all royal. All women are royal." She wasn't talking about Meghan. This was an absolute PR puff fail. All right, move on. Next up, a blind item came out. Looks like someone is pushing for the Audible deal for Meghan Markle. But as you can see, listen, I've told you guys before, they don't want her. They want him. So you've got these PR puff pieces come out. She's thrilled to be on the cusp of inking a new deal, which means she hasn't signed anything and there is no deal. And I've said before, and I'll say it again, they don't want her, they want Harry. So what these articles are saying is she's on the verge of landing her next major deal, and it's with Audible. Now, we know that in June, a joint statement went out that, everybody agreed to mutually part ways and we're proud of the series that we made, blah, blah, blah. What actually we found out later on was that they were fired because they didn't meet their metrics. In 2.5 years, they needed like 20 producers and all of this help just to put out 12 podcasts that were a snooze fest and that had horrible ratings. So why anybody thinks that Audible would suddenly sign with them, I can't imagine. They're name dropping. They're thrilled. They'll be in the company of Michelle and Barack Obama. And there's going to be a huge payout, bigger than the millions from Spotify. The millions they didn't collect because they didn't meet metrics. And listen, Audible's not stupid. They've seen what's happened with Spotify. They've seen what's happened with Netflix. Moving on. Now, these stories come out to keep Harry and Meghan in the news, even if they're false, okay? They just want to be in the news because no news is bad news. So, of course, Page 6 reached out to Audible, and Audible said that they are not in negotiations with Harry and Meghan, that there is absolutely no truth to the report. What I say. All right, I just had to put this in because I thought it was hilarious. All right, moving on. Remember I told you that the Judge Warby, knew that Harry and Meghan were the ones leaking information? Well, now Dan Wooten has stepped up and said that it's Harry's communication team that briefed the media during the entire time he and Meghan were in the royal family. Yep, moving on. And here we go. It's coming out in the news that Harry and Meghan are spending time apart and they're becoming comfortable with their separate lives. Harry is apparently running around the United States. We saw him on that solo trip to the F1, whereas Meghan is apparently hanging out at the Beverly Hills Hotel because she wants her Hollywood comeback. The thing is, she was never in Hollywood. There is no comeback. She has set up a base at the hotel because she wants to be close to WME. The truth is, she wanted to be a star. She thought marrying Harry was going to elevate her and people were going to be all over her. Let's not forget the royal family offered for her to keep acting. She could have done that with the title, but she said no, she was done with that. Yeah, we all know they're apart. Everybody knows they're apart. I don't understand why, this is just coming out. They're saying that they've fallen into a routine and their romance could have lost some of the initial spark. All right, really quickly, they're saying, everybody's saying that Meghan's new book is going to target Catherine, but actually they're saying it's probably going to target her father. Let's face it, Harry never met him. We know that Harry said, we're the family she never had. Everybody went, what? Because that's exactly what Trevor said as well. Very interesting. He gave her the best of everything, the best of the private schools, tap dancing, ballet, private everything, pick up by the limo several days a week to take her to the set of Married with Children, multiple vacations. The TIG was full of comments from her about a wonderful dad she had, what a wonderful life she had, and essentially she tossed him away. Now, there will be no reconciliation because it's like Harry said during the Netflix docuseries, she's lost her dad because of me. She didn't lose her dad. Her dad's very alive and well, but in her brain, he's dead. There will never be a reconciliation, and I hope they don't allow her anywhere near that funeral. But the point is, she has to continue on with her story about what a crappy childhood she had with her dad so that Harry won't want to meet him anymore. What a shame. Now, closing in towards the end here, this article, Meghan left in tears because this was when the joint statement was put out because Harry said that William had been bullying him and a statement was put out that William did not bully Harry. How did he bully him? You mean when he beat him up in his kitchen? Or when he said that his wife was rude, which she is? But remember, Meghan said she's not a crier. Okay? She said that before, but then she cried on the Netflix series. You want to hurt my babies? Who said they want to hurt your babies? You sat there on the couch admitting that you're in a gated, secured neighborhood in a house surrounded by security with a state-of-the-art security system, and you're worried about your kids. Guys, okay, Meghan has said before on camera that she's not a crier. That's what she said. But how many times did we hear that she was crying, that Catherine made her cry before the wedding because, let's face it, Charlotte's bridesmaid dress was a nightmare that was poorly done, poorly put together, and had to be fixed. How many times did we hear that Harry found her on the floor sobbing? How about Harry had her crying into her pillow when the bullying allegations came out? How many times did we have to hear about it? How about when Meghan was crying on the floor of the closet? I believe this was Canada, when they had to leave Canada because the security was pulled. How about the time, again, on Netflix, when Meghan was crying during her therapy session about what a wonderful person she is? Don't believe the hype. You really are a great person. How about when Meghan was crying? I mean, guys, for a woman who doesn't cry a lot, who's not a crybaby, she sure cries a lot. Like at the drop of a frickin' hat, in my opinion. All right, guys, you know what to do. Put those comments down and make them good. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you've already done that, double check. Make sure you're still subscribed. If you've donated to my coffee fund or through the thanks button, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.